Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. All right, so crypto market today settling down a little bit in the last 24 hours. We're down about 1.86% for Bitcoin, down about 2% for Ethereum, XRP down 2.05. So, I mean, there was a lot of movement for XRP on Tuesday. We did see that retracement, and take a look at that candlestick. I mean, that long red candlestick would usually indicate a bearish downtrend. We did see highs and lows range of about 13.86%. So we did open up that candlestick at about 47 cents and did see a high of about 47.6. And it did go as low as 0.409. So, I mean, out of context, you would assume a very bearish candlestick. But, you know, taking a look at the daily candlestick before that, we saw XRP move on Tuesday, and in that daily time frame, it did move over 31%. So despite the down day yesterday, guys, I think we are in a pretty good space. Today's candlestick looking fairly positive. Right now, XRP is trading at 44.3. So if we were to take this, put it on the 1 hour, you guys can see we are rebounding out of that double bottom pattern here and now coming up again. So this structure generally very indicative of a typical retracement and a correction, and hopefully we're going to make new highs. I don't know how soon we will make new highs. I mean, we still might see some of this. The good news though, guys, we're out of this funk down in here. We're out of this, we're out of all of this, and we are now trading higher on the chart. We've got over 23,000 now cryptocurrencies in the crypto space. The market cap is still hovering above $1.1 trillion, and we've still got Bitcoin dominance over 46%. So Bitcoin still leading the pack right now. Let me bring up Bitcoin real quickly. Bitcoin on the hourly. We can see there was some uncertainty yesterday for Bitcoin. It was trading as high as about $28,500. Did come back down to 26.7, and now Bitcoin trading on very low volume, not a lot of price movement down in and around here at about 27.7. So I'm sure you guys know what was going on yesterday. John Deaton posting this. When you read this, coupled with the conduct of the SEC in the Ripple case, must come to the conclusion that the SEC as an institution is a complete and utter disgrace. I'm not surprised, considering 9 months ago I said the SEC would do this, but I am angered and saddened. What he is talking about, it is now official, guys. Coinbase has received a Wells notice from the SEC. This from Paul Grewal at Coinbase. After years of asking for reasonable crypto rules, we're disappointed that the SEC is considering courts over constructive dialogue. But if courts are required, so be it. We'll defend the rule of law. He goes on to say, over the past 9 months, Coinbase has met with the SEC more than 30 times sharing details about their business plan. They got zero feedback on how to register. Instead, today, we were received a Wells notice when Coinbase filed to go public back in 2021. And this is the other interesting thing, right? Coinbase is one of the only cryptocurrency companies that has gone public and did need the SEC's approval to sell stock on the stock exchange. Our S1 described our business in much detail, including 57 references to staking and details on our assets listing process. Now, he talks about staking because that is one of the things the SEC is now laser focused on with regards to Coinbase. The SEC approved us to go public knowing those details. Now they have changed their mind. So he gives some more details, guys. In 2018, we acquired 2 broker-dealer licenses in an effort to become regulated by the SEC. He goes on to say last July, we filed a petition with the SEC calling for more regulatory clarity. We have yet to receive a response to our petition. For comparison, over many years, we have been able to successfully become a licensed and regulated crypto business in a number of other countries. So, looking to the rest of the world, he includes Singapore, Ireland, Australia, Germany. These are countries where Coinbase is in fact licensed and ready to go. We've also been able to successfully become regulated in another U.S. federal regulator, obtaining our DCM and DCO license from the CFTC. So that's another interesting point. We don't list securities. Of the thousands plus crypto assets Coinbase has reviewed over the years, only roughly 240 of those have met our standards to list on the platform. So, pleading their case to the court of Twitter, although many in the XRP community feeling a bit bittersweet by this. Of course, some saying, karma is biting Coinbase in the butt. They get what they deserve. Others realizing, no, you know what? This is not good for cryptocurrency. Let's keep the fight going. Even though they did turn their back on XRP back when Ripple got sued. We believe a large number of crypto securities also exist and should be available to register and trade on the SEC. So, giving their opinion on what is going on here. Of course, it's not what any of us wanted to hear. However, it is what is now happening in the United States, unfortunately. Down here, and I will link this in the description of the video if you guys want to read the full thing, it is hard to throw the rule book at an entire economic sector when there is no rule book and the people responsible for the rule book can even agree themselves that the rule book should say, even as we have asked for a rule book. So what happens next? We avail ourselves of the court system to finally start to get some clarity for the crypto industry in the United States. Ironically, establishing some case laws may be our best shot at getting the regulatory clarity that the industry deserves. So we got the Wells notice coming right up. Ashley Prosper posting this. So Coinbase has received a Wells notice from the SEC, meaning there is pending legal action unless Coinbase can give a good response as to why they should not be sued. Interestingly, Brian Armstrong says it concerns staking and asset listing. So that is interesting. Brian Armstrong also coming out talking about this, that Coinbase got a Wells notice today. 2 years ago, the SEC reviewed our business, blah, blah, blah. We kind of heard the same thing from Paul Grewal. We understand that this is all part of the journey to reforming our financial system. We are right on the law, confident in the facts, and welcome the opportunity for Coinbase and by extension, the broader crypto community to get before the court. We are proud to stand up for our customers in the industry in these moments. Going forward, the legal process will provide an open and public forum before an unbiased body where we will be able to make clear for all to see that the SEC simply has not been fair, reasonable, or even demonstrated a seriousness of purpose when it comes to its engagement. Comes to its engagement on digital assets. He goes on to say, in the meantime, Coinbase will continue to do what we do best, build the most trusted products and services in order to advance our purpose of updating the financial system and creating more economic freedom in the world. We are excited to work with all governments. So, trying to stay positive on this. Here is the Wells notice, guys, posted by John Deaton here, retweeting out Latoshi's tweet. It's difficult to overstate how remarkable it is that this is the response of a public company to a Wells notice. So this was Coinbase's response to the Wells notice. The SEC will not let crypto companies come in and register. We tried. The Wells notice comes out of the investigation that we disclosed last summer. Shortly after the investigation began, the SEC asked us if we would be interested in discussing a potential resolution that would include registering some portion of our business with the SEC. We said absolutely yes. Specifically, the SEC asked us to provide our views on what the registration path for Coinbase could look like because there is no existing way for a crypto exchange to register, and they highlight that. They emphasize that here. We developed and proposed 2 different registration models. We spent millions of dollars on legal support to build these models, blah, blah, blah. We got nothing from the SEC. We also reiterated we stand by our listing process. They didn't say anything. We met with them over 30 times. In December of 2022, we asked the SEC again for some feedback on our proposals. The staff agreed to provide feedback in January of this year, January 2023. And the day before the scheduled meeting, the SEC canceled on us, told us they would be shifting back to an enforcement investigation. So the SEC essentially not wanting to play ball, it doesn't sound like with anybody. We've got our opinions about the SEC, obviously, and where their allegiances lie. Gary Gensler, his big banker buddy friends, the big banks in America, they want to be in control. And cryptocurrency has gotten too big too quickly. So this is, I think, their last-ditch effort to try to rein it in and to try to control all of cryptocurrency, slashing and burning as they go. Even these big companies like Coinbase, like Ripple, these companies that you'd think, they're trying to approach this and try to be transparent, but they don't want to let them in the door still. They have full control and they want to maintain full control. So again, guys, I will link everything in the description of the video if I maybe didn't go over something that you saw that you might want to read again. John Deaton here posting this, even if I dislike Coinbase as a business, or you think Coinbase turned its back on XRP hodlers, if you believe in a fair, free market and believe the SEC should protect investors, you should have to be disgusted by the SEC's conduct here. And I think we all are at this point, even Eleanor Turret bringing up this breaking news, and some in the XRP community responding to this, delisted XRP for nothing and held our SGB and FLR for nothing. They get what they deserve. Average trader down here saying they stole your airdrops to pay for legal fees. Not even a thank you. Owen here saying we knew that was coming. John Deaton told us. I reckon he knew before Coinbase even realized. John Deaton did predict that there was going to be a big exchange that was going to be hit by the SEC. And when you know the SEC's plan and when you can kind of see the bigger picture, understanding that there is a bigger banking sector, stuff that we've talked about on this channel, The fact that, they don't want to relinquish control. And, I keep hitting this point home, and sometimes I feel like a broken record. But, when it comes down to it, and now we're faced with it, it's kind of like, see, we knew, and this is what we're dealing with now. XRPZ down here saying, good, it's called karma. They should have fought alongside Ripple from the beginning. With all the outrageous fees that they collected from us, they should have enough money to hire good attorneys. I have no doubt that they have probably very good attorneys. Ashley Prosper again with another tweet here. Can't stand Brian Armstrong for what he did to XRP hodlers, but we'll stand with him on this. Love the fact that his tweet was basically a middle finger to the SEC. So the SEC isn't stopping there at Coinbase, guys. They are going after a bunch of kind of a random array of people here. Tron founder Justin Sun and celebrities like Lindsay Lohan, Jake Paul, who have crypto violations according to them. So the Security and Exchange Commission has unveiled fraud and unregistered securities charges against Justin Sun, the founder of Tron, alongside separate violations against celebrity backers for his Tronix and BitTorrent crypto assets like Jake Paul, Lindsay Lohan, and Soulja Boy. The SEC alleged that Justin Sun engaged in fraud by manipulating the trading activity of the two tokens, creating the appearance of active trading when it did not exist. The unregistered offering and sale charges, on the other hand, are similar charges the SEC has unveiled against other crypto offerings and exchanges. So guys, here's a list of all of the celebrities that the SEC is going after. Lindsay Lohan, Jake Paul, DeAndre Cortez Way, also known as Soulja Boy, Austin Mahone, Michelle Mason, known as Kendra Lust, Miles Parks McCollum, known as Little Yachty, Schaefer Smith, known as Neo, and Leon Thean, also known as Akon. Okay, whatever. So here we're seeing that it is not exclusive, I guess, to crypto companies. I mean, Tron is a crypto company, Coinbase a crypto exchange, obviously, but now even the SEC is now even going after the celebrities that promoted these tokens. So they are taking a no-holds-barred approach. And so this also happened yesterday. I guess, they're really trying to go on a blitz here. I don't remember who said it. I think it was Mike Phillips on Twitter. He said, could this be a distraction because they know that the Ripple SEC case is coming to a close and they know they are going to lose? And so, is this kind of a bit of a distraction now? It's like, oh, look at this flashy object over here because don't pay attention to the Ripple case, but pay attention over here because now we're going after all these other people. Then we're probably going to win some of this. Hopefully, maybe. Could be. I would not put it past them. I mean, for the optics, Michael Branch posted this in a series of tweets. David Schwartz criticized the SEC's actions, suggesting that they may be motivated by incompetence or a desire to protect insiders and early investors. So here's where, maybe we can get into a bit of a conspiracy theory. David Schwartz, he did criticize the SEC's actions and said that they might actually be motivated by a desire to protect insiders. Schwartz's comments were in response to Coinbase receiving the Wells notice. And here's what David Schwartz wrote. Unless he wanted to allow the founders, insiders, and early investors to profit, and then shift much of the losses due to this litigation onto a large number of retail investors, I guess it could also just be incompetence that they didn't notice this sooner. So what's David Schwartz saying here? Interesting, because I also happen to see this from Bitfinex on Twitter. Hey, Brian, when did you guys actually receive the Wells notice? So Brian Armstrong was saying today, March the 23rd, that is when Coinbase did receive the Wells notice. But the other thing Bitfinex noticed over here was this. The fact that Brian Armstrong, reporting name Brian Armstrong, was selling Coinbase securities, so Coinbase shares, all throughout the end of February, throughout March, all throughout this month, basically, up until March the 20th, 3 days ago. Things that make you go, Bitfinex down here, continuing this tweet thread, Armstrong is the best trader ever, facetiously writing this statement on March 22nd, Coinbase Global Inc. and Coinbase Inc., collectively known as the company, did receive the Wells notice. So again, just a statement to that point. Meanwhile, we've got Brian Armstrong selling a whole whack of Coinbase shares here. I mean, I wouldn't put anything past anyone at this point in time. Somebody down here, DGen DeFi, says, those sales are predetermined. Their sales dates were predetermined and reported to the SEC. Owners tend to have the majority of their wealth tied up in company stock. They have the right to divest. Sure, they do. But someone that believes that their stock is going to go up isn't going to sell more than what he really needs to sell. Okay. I mean, I think Brian Armstrong did know eventually the hammer was going to come down and Coinbase was going to get sued. I get maybe he knew when, maybe he didn't, maybe he knew it was going to be within the next few months. I mean, who really knows? The industry is not that big, and considering the writing was on the wall, for every American crypto company, basically getting regulatory clarity in the United States. Everybody had a target on their back, so it was kind of only a matter of time. I could see him divesting, selling these stocks anyway, but the timing, guys, looks very, very suspect, I gotta say. So I wanted to thank Bitfinex here on Twitter, obviously Michael Branch as well, Ashley Prosper. Sometimes I get through this, sometimes I forget. Eleanor Turret, John Deaton, and everybody else who has contributed to these tweet threads. So guys, now for the maybe somewhat obvious, somewhat not obvious part to this, okay? Coinbase about to get sued. That means trouble is here. And so what could this in fact mean? The only two cryptos on the mantelpiece are the green one and the purple one. I don't know if you guys remember this Bearableguy riddle from Christmas a few years ago, guys, and these colors represent different currencies. If you've been following the Bearableguy riddles from the beginning, you know green is Bitcoin, XRP in purple, and yellow is USD. These have been themes in some of the Bearableguy riddles since 2018, as long as I can remember. And so he is saying the only two cryptos on the mantelpiece, green and purple, possibly both will be commodities with a digital dollar stable USDC. Both will be commodities with a digital US dollar supporting them. The rest will become tokenized. And so the theory goes as such. Because now that we're seeing the SEC really target companies like Coinbase, Tron, we've already been saying this, but guys, this is really opening the gate for them to tackle every single cryptocurrency. Basically, nothing is safe. Maybe Litecoin, I mean, because it's very similar to Bitcoin, but I don't even know if Litecoin is even safe. I mean, a lot of these coins did get their start in similar ways. A lot of these coins did start with ICOs, initial coin offerings. And so what I think is happening here is that the SEC is looking, to lay a case and basically make the case stick. I think they thought they were going to do that with Ripple, but alas, Ripple has succeeded. They have been really good at thwarting the SEC's attempt. All right, Anders here on Twitter saying XRP, the base pair of all US-based crypto exchanges. XRP, the only crypto US banks and financial institutions could safely invest in and use. That's what we're talking about here. He's not mentioning Bitcoin. But Bitcoin will have that clarity because of the way it was constructed. Craig DeWitt, guys, posted this. A Ripple win could make XRP possibly the only cryptocurrency with legal certainty in the US. That has big implications for exchanges trying to navigate the current lack of clarity regarding which assets they can list. So, if the verdict does go this way, it could be that, ironically, despite the fact that Coinbase wanted to delist XRP because it did not have clarity, it could be that Bitcoin and XRP are in fact the only cryptocurrencies that will have clarity. Another one here important, XRP and maybe BTC for those wanting to be sure, such as regulated financial institutions. With the Coinbase Wells notice from the SEC and the chance of a big Ripple court win, XRP could become one of the very few assets available for trading in the United States. And I'm going to bring up the Craig DeWitt tweet here. Never Say Never posts this. That does not make any sense. And Craig DeWitt responds, a Ripple win could make XRP possibly the only cryptocurrency with legal certainty in the United States. That has big implications for exchanges trying to navigate the current lack of clarity regarding which assets they can list. Let's also not forget Craig DeWitt. I'm just going to bring up his LinkedIn profile here. Used to work at Ripple. For 7 years, he was at Ripple between August of 2015 and July of 2022 in different positions here. He's currently in product and engineering at Supermojo. Nevertheless, he does have ties to Ripple. This would also explain, guys, the bell ringing here and those three colors. The ringing of the bell, finally getting the clarity, XRP and BTC maybe getting that clarity. As per Craig DeWitt, XRP could become one of the very few assets available for trading in the United States. So guys, are we seeing this happening before our eyes? Are we going to see XRP clarity? Think about this for a second. What would that in fact do to price of XRP? Let's not forget, Bitcoin has roughly about half the market share. Okay, $532 billion in market cap for Bitcoin. That is roughly half of the $1.1 trillion in the crypto space. So if the other of the two coins were to get the clarity, that would mean that XRP's market cap would have to go up by roughly, what is it? Approximately 24x, 24.18 approximately, 24.18. Multiply that by the current price of XRP. That would bring XRP upwards of over $10 per coin. All things considered, guys, this is just some rough math. But if XRP is one of the very few assets available for trading in the United States, and we do get the bell ringing on clarity for these particular currencies, I think $10 will just be the start. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.